This week, we have a very special guest who is here in person this time and not on a screen. KBR, Kane Blue River, Marvel 3 champion at EVO. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Super happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me here in such short notice.
You gave us, it wasn't a short notice, but you did tell us about that during EVO Japan, right?
Yeah.
And you might come visit Korea.
Yeah.
And and it was also the similar timing of we had to move the studio venue. And so some of the viewers might see a little different in the atmosphere, but here we are.
So basically, am I inaugurating the new?
Yeah, kind of. You are. I mean,
studio?
It's like a special edition, right?
Yeah, I don't know how big of a deal it is that we're here, but yeah, I mean, you are the first, so it's probably not as good as winning EVO, but yeah, I guess. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff in the last podcast. We had some really good conversations, but there was one thing that we didn't really get to talk about. We talked about a lot the other day. We played a fighting game that you're working on with the company A1, right? Yes. The company that made Omen of Sorrow, right?
Yeah. That's right.
But the game that you're working on is a very different kind of fighting game and has a very different kind of vibe and feel. And yeah, I guess how did that come about? Like, I mean, you're one of the top players that got into this game design activity. And it seems like it's kind of more and more of a trend these days because it's hard to find fighting game designers, or at least the gameplay designers, because you have to have a very deep understanding of fighting games to make something that's kind of coherent and feels right. And so I noticed, like, of course, at Riot with 2XKO, there's a lot of those guys are FGC people who have been top players for a long time. And you are one of the you are a top player doing a similar thing, but all the way down in Chile. So yeah, how did you get into this? And did you go and want to do this, or were you kind of summoned and asked? How did this come about?
Initially, in the process for Omen of Sorrow, when I heard that there was a fighting game with like higher aspirations being developed at home, basically. I reached out to the developers, like just in case, because it's always good to have like more opportunities, more options, like more stuff to do. So reach out just like in case, like if you want someone to like check out the game, do like QA or like help market the game or whatever, just let me know. It's like, don't worry. Like, we know about you, but we already have like our established team. They have like
they know about you. That's a good start. Actually.
They knew about me for sure. Yeah. But for the most part, it's like just they were just pretty much like on the with the game like almost done at that point too. It's like because when you one thing I've learned is that when you see this kind of stuff on development cycles, when the games get announced, usually they're like about 70% or 70% done or even closer than that to release, right?
Yeah, in most cases, yeah.
Yeah, in most cases, there's not really much that one can do about it.
Yeah. That's actually an interesting point you make. I kind of because if you looked at something like the ArcSys Marvel game. I think their release date was something like next year.
Early next year.
Early next year.
Developing for a while.
Yeah, and like
in secret.
Yeah, and if you look at the game, it's like looks like pretty far along,
yeah,
right?
And it's if you start thinking about it, it's interesting to think of how this didn't leak.
Yeah.
So the effort that's being put into.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of people probably knew about this game, but and it's like the biggest FGC gossip you can have. It's like ArcSys meets Marvel. Like that's like
Marvel's doing ArcSys is doing the next Marvel game. Is like and there's sort of like that. Like for example, if you see when they announced the Invincible fighting game. When they show footage, it was actually marked from being from like all the testing with like well-known FGC figures.
Yeah.
Those videos had a date of last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So yeah, the NDAing is
it's powerful.
People have been maybe they have something in the clause, like maybe they'll come and break your legs
And
or
also,
something.
like I guess, like some of the guys we are familiar with are very trustworthy people.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they don't want to they don't want to ruin any opportunities.
Of course.
But that's really cool to see. These top players that are going into development process, and like I mentioned, in Riot, they're not shy about showing that. Right? You see like these top players doing that. But what's interesting about Riot, with 2XKO is that that's actually the opposite of what we just talked about, how developers are very far along and then they say like, boom, we announce it, game's coming out next year. This one's been in development for a very long time, right? So this is something that people have known about for a long time under its project name is Project L.
Yes.
Right? And so like, you don't have like, Project A with like the Marvel Arxis game, right? They don't. They probably had like they probably had the code name internally, but like the code name for the 2XKO was just everyone knew about it for a long time, so it was not a secret that they were working on the game. So, I guess the game that you're working on now with A1, does it have a full title yet, or is it still working title?
The full title for it is Daybreak Slam.
Okay, Daybreak Slam.
Yeah, and even the name is it was thought to show the complete like 180 turn from the previous Omen of Sorrow. Like this shows something very bright.
Yeah. No, definitely. I immediately when you turned it on for us, when Kevin and I first played it, we were just kind of like, whoa, this is like retro Japan vibes, very colorful colors. I thought it kind of reminded me of like Crazy Taxi almost, and you made a Waku Waku reference.
I first looked at it, I'm like, it feels like Waku Waku 7, and then it's like you said it's like the main inspiration.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
The developers got
for like the general like gameplay, like crazy characters and crazy vibes and art style. There's that, and also a lot of inspiration for like the general environment, like you say, the particular like Dreamcast type games. Popularity, like Crazy Taxi, like Jet Set Radio, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, Jet Set Radio. That's very another one that reminded me of
Sega game.
Yeah, Dreamcast era like vibe. Even like the smooth animations and it's just a really cool aesthetic. And I think immediately you just look at the characters and you're like, it just looks like a fun game to like put your hands on. And of course, the one character that everyone, if you guys ever see this game online, you're gonna be like, oh, there's a vending machine character, right? You're gonna want to play the vending machine character, and
so cool.
Yeah, very, very, very cool design. Also, the alternate costumes, the alt costumes on the vending machine are pretty fun. If you ever anyone out there messes with it, you should. Mess around with that, but that actually kind of leads me to kind of a dev question, because I imagine like you're coming from like as a player, you're not really a programmer in any sense, but you're going to game design, and so fighting games, a big part of fighting games is like it's where the gameplay design aspect has to meet the visual aspect, which, because there's hitboxes and hurtboxes, which has to meet the programming aspect, which is like frame data and like the information, right? And so I guess when you got into it, you probably started learning about how these fighting game designs work, right? Like sometimes you'll see like maybe there's a cool looking animation, but it's like, oh, that doesn't really work for the gameplay, because like, and we know like the old retro games, there's some hitboxes that don't match with the animation at all, and you just kind of have to know. But I guess you're now dealing with this kind of stuff firsthand, and now if you have a vending machine character, then it's like, how do you make okay, you have a vending machine character, you have to get kind of creative. Like if you have a long range attack, it doesn't have any limbs.
Yeah, with the arms and the legs.
Yeah, so like for Street Fighter, they just like to get like a long range hitbox with a character. They just like, okay, stretchy limbs, right? Or some games will choose weapons to make a long range normal. But the problem with weapons is, if you can whiff punish the weapon, it's kind of weird that you can whiff punish a weapon. But some games do that anyways. They put a hurt box on the weapon. You're probably you're probably seeing this firsthand when you're working on the game. I guess not just with the vending machine character, but what kind of challenges that you were kind of unexpected when you were kind of getting into the designing the gameplay?
Well, so I'm gonna finish the previous question to lead up to this.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So, how they got into this? After A1 was done with Omen of Sorrow,
Yeah.
they were like kind of like on up and downs. They like most of the staff left for other projects, and then the pandemic happened.
Oh, okay.
So for a time they went back to like the origins of the company, which was not necessarily making the games. They also do a lot of work for hire, and they started doing initially like
Software development.
no like 3D modeling for buildings, apartments, that kind of stuff.
Ah, okay. Like
CAD
CAD
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And at what point, like this was early 2021, like middle of the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
The two owners of the company at the time reached out to me, and they told me basically it's like, we want to make a new fighting game.
Nice.
And I asked them, do you really want to make another fighting game after all you went through? Because
Yeah.
honestly, making like fighting games must be one of the hardest genres to develop like video games in.
Sure,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's very, very convoluted in multiple ways that I'll touch a little bit upon further.
Yeah.
But they told me yes, and the thing is that they were kind of like restarting the company at this point.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they have very, very few people, and so it was a kind of like one of the first to get into like this rebirth of the company, right?
Yeah.
And basically they wanted me in terms of to help them design the new fighting game, because people know that even though like I've had my successes in fighting games, they come from not from a talent thing, but from a specific skill set of me having like like being good at disassembling video games, not
Yeah.
just fighting games, but in general. Like I have a very exploitive mindset of like
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to find flaws, trying to find advantages, and how to make the best use of that.
Yeah, like breaking the game
Yeah.
down, and you can see all its
So
components.
that allows me to understand how fighting games work in a more in-depth way. So what happened there is that it was very funny, because they had this engine they built on. So they in A1 they work with mostly Unreal.
Yeah.
And they had their own like engine built on top of that, in which they built Omen of Sorrow. And the thing is that they wanted to keep using this engine, but they didn't have anyone that knew fighting games to like make use of this engine.
Ah,
So-
that's right. They had to create that engine.
Yeah,
That is- yeah.
So they took me to the office, and it's like, okay, this is the engine we have, and it's like, okay, take a look at it. Tell us what you think. I took a look at it. It was very easy for me to understand as a fighting game player,
Yeah.
and because I had like I'm like I'm good with computers. I understand like how things work.
Yeah.
I was in the university for a couple of years for computer engineering, so
Yeah. Okay.
I know programming basics. So it's like I know what's going on behind, like even though I can't program myself, but if I'm like sitting next to a programmer, I can follow code with
Yeah.
someone
Okay.
that knows.
Okay. So you do have a background that touches upon
Yeah.
the coding aspect. Yeah.
So basically, they asked me, okay, so what can you do with this engine? I told them, okay, I think I can like take one of your Omen of Sorrow characters and turn it into a Marvel character. So instead of like being like Street Fighter type combos or like chain combos, do like 1, 2, 3 launch, 1, 2, 3 down OTG super,
Yeah,
like very
yeah.
basic Marvel 3 combo.
yeah.
And they were like, okay, how many weeks do you think you will take on that? I told them like maybe like 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in 2 hours, I had the character doing like ABC, like Lemium heavy jump, launch, Lemium heavy down, OTG super.
Yeah.
And that's how I got in,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's what basically got me in. And then we went through all the process of like, what was the general idea? What was the concept? We went like through multiple like reiterations of what we wanted to make in terms of like the general like art style vibe, also gameplay design, all that. And then
sorry, let me just ask a quick question before you continue. So did you get in? I guess you must have gotten in on this game before they even had the art style or any.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes, because I was in the game from point zero.
Okay, wow. So you actually saw this game appear from thin air, into something. Okay.
Yeah, I made the game appear from thin air.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, very cool. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, for me, the most challenging part of being like combat designer for this has been being the middle point between the programmers and the artists. Basically, going to the programmers and telling them, I need this to happen in the game. I need characters to be able to do this, or I need to like even details like I want like at which point during the whole frame animation you start like considering things like before or after the frame is displayed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like the order in which like things are parsed before displaying them on the actual frame, like frame display, the thing that actually happens in game, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All those things are details that ideally, if you want to be working with people that also understand fighting games in some sort of way, or at least games, because the way they understand what you're talking about.
Yes.
Or otherwise you have to explain things to them, how things work, what you're expected to do. Usually show like examples. It's like this works like this because blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, I need this to happen in the game. I need this certain thing to work this way, and they have to and they code it inside the engine and update the engine. So now you're able to do this kind of thing. You have this new flag that okay, now this move is cancelable, all like normal cancelable during the chain, but if you do the move in a chain, now you have to spend resources to be able to cancel it, blah 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 blah. Those are things you have to request to them. And then on the art side, you have to go to the concept art. It's like, okay, this is what like we want the move to be like, kind of like what we're thinking about the character, about like we're thinking about the character to do in this particular attack. And we need to go like check with the art people, and then the concept, and if they like it, for like the general aesthetic of the game, and then also see it for myself if it suits the character, like the character concept, the character archetype. Then if it gets approved, we have to take it to the concept artist. Okay, start drawing sketches.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the sketches. These are fine. Then we have to go to the animators. Like again, it's like this is what we have to. This is what we want the character to do. Maybe come with some examples of like similar attacks in our games to have them understand the idea. Yeah. And this is also a bit more complicated in my experience because many I found programmers be more like having usually more affinity with fighting games than animators.
Yeah, okay.
Like animators translate it differently.
It's not just like in life. Like programmers are like more.
They're logical,
more logical, more like scientifically minded. So fighting games just suits them better. So more often I see them like we having at least some sort of fighting experience. Meanwhile, for the artists, for like people that do 3D design, that kind of stuff, they're usually like more artistic on their side. So they play more casual games.
Yeah, okay.
So they don't have much fighting game experience in general. And
That's interesting.
In fighting games in particular have certain animation conventions that defy all the rules of like general animation.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you kind of touched upon this.
We talked about canceling stuff, right?
Well, there is that aspect, but I think it was the throw text, like
many things, like how even how throwing works, how throw tech works, how canceling works.
Yeah,
how like characters are supposed to be on the same line, but they're not really on the same.
It's
horizontal
just
line.
Exaggeration.
Yeah.
It doesn't look nice in a cartoon or a actual animation, but you have to exaggerate for the games to look better.
If you think about like the idea of canceling in 2D fighting games, it's the most ridiculous looking thing,
I
right?
think animators
You just
would be like,
yeah, animators probably like, why is he just suddenly teleported
Teleporting.
into a different
Yes,
animation?
exactly,
But
exactly.
for us, like a low forward fireball
It's
with
a
Ryu
normal
is like
thing.
the most normal looking thing, right?
exactly.
But to an animator, that must just be like, wow, this is what you guys like. But like if you look at Tekken, for example, we were talking about how throw techs are very difficult to make it look like natural or good, and it's kind of like you see like a Street Fighter 5, it looks like they just both explode and blow each other away with like
Yeah.
air or something like compressed air, and but like in Tekken it's different because they don't really have the canceling animations that the 2D games have had. Of course, there's 2D characters now, but in Tekken, like even like throw teching is like not really throw tech. It's like it's like throw breaking, right?
Yes.
And then there's like a full animation, like the get off me, bro.
And they
right?
have, and for graphs that are not the generic graphs, they even have like specific throw break animations
animation. You have to suit the character,
right.
the size of the character,
Yes.
and the style of grapple that they did.
Yeah. But like in a 2D fighting game, you have to have like Ibuki doing a back throw on Hugo. And it's like, how do you,
Yeah.
that's
It's not
ridiculous.
possible.
Like, but you have to have it because you can't make it so that you know
Yeah.
she can't do the throw. That breaks the gameplay.
I remember-
throws universal.
Because all the other normal sized characters, like the Ibuki example, is pretty cool because she hops on their shoulder, right, to do the neck breaker.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But for Hugo, it's like double the height. So they had to, I guess, animate that for the tall
Yeah,
characters.
they have to adjust that for
So just to make it make sense.
to make it look good.
That's
It's
right,
Like,
yeah.
like even for example in Tatsunoko versus Capcom,
Capcom, yeah.
like when Alex did the headbutt on the
robot
giant
character.
robots,
Oh man,
he had to climb. He had a different
Yeah.
animation and climb with their
That's
heads
right,
to
yeah.
headbutt them.
Yeah,
Or
so-
if he does a surplex on him or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, and then but you have to do it in the same frames also, unless you change the gameplay rules.
Yes.
So then it's like
Yes,
now
so-
there's a climbing animation, but he has to climb really fast, right? So it's almost like you teleport.
Yeah.
It must be like really difficult to try to get some of the animations to work with some of the gameplay. Was there ever a time where you had to compromise on the gameplay a bit with the animators, like say like the animators like, oh, I don't know, we can't make this look good, and you're like, okay, maybe we'll add like 3 more frames of startup to this move. I can imagine that would be sacrilege for any gameplay designer, right? So do you just have to be like, okay, just suck it up, animators. It's gonna look weird, but just make it work, and then they make something
We
work.
had a little bit of both, really, especially with like there's some case where some animators try to. It's like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, so it's like I'm gonna like make my own judgments. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's
Interesting.
usually a case where you have to no. Don't think. Just
Do it.
just do what we're telling you.
Yeah.
But you're right, because you know how it says the coders and the animators, they kind of have a different perspective on life in general.
Yeah.
I kind of see it. I wouldn't think it's every artist, but something that I see commonly is that they're very stubborn as well.
Yeah.
Because they're very egoistic about
because
their
they're
art.
artists.
Yeah.
It's like they want to do their craft. Like
Yeah.
you see it with
Totally understandable.
like
yeah.
you see it not only like, for example, I see it a lot with like think about younger musicians getting into the game industry. Like think being a younger musician, like composer getting into Square Enix, Capcom, SNK,
Yeah.
and like having to like kind of be, people expect you to live out to a massive legacy.
Yeah.
But you as an artist, you also want to do your own thing. You don't want to be like the people that came before you inspire you,
Yeah. Of course.
but you
yeah.
don't want to be chained to just doing one like another rearrange.
Yeah. Well,
of-
that's yeah,
It's
definitely.
like they don't want to be the next the Nobu Uematsu. They want to be the first of their name.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
they-
Like,
yeah.
I mean, this is I think there's a comedian that talked about this. How like yeah, it's not when you're when you get into music, you want to be the rock star, right? You're not going in there to be like the the backup guitarist for some obscure band or movie and get the paycheck and then go to the next one, right? So like there's kind of like there's like an ambition there when it comes to any of the arts. But I could say this because like I'm also I'm also doing a business that requires making art based on what clients expect. And of course, they have their expectations, and I can't just be, I can't just be like a stubborn artist.
Yeah, you can't
to
just have
the clients, right?
commercial video look like Core gaming videos.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's gotta like when I work on Core Gaming stuff, I just kind of put whatever.
That's
I
when you
feel
can
is
do
right.
whatever
Yeah,
you want.
I do
I mean,
whatever, and
even within A1, I see that as well because A1 basically sustains itself a lot. Like Daybreak Slam is like the passion project of the company.
oh, that's really
Right.
cool. Yeah, if they're
right.
doing like 3D stuff for other companies like CAD
It's like-
work. That's
I mean,
this must be so fun
that's
for
why
them.
during like the like kind of like dark times. Now it's like mostly like
Gaming stuff?
video game related.
Okay. So they're
work
back.
for hire.
They're back doing their.
they
yeah. So-
transition like shifted entirely to gaming now.
Yeah. So that was like doing like
the dark times where you have to like make models of buildings.
yeah, that was like
civil engineering. And,
that was like the few years like that was A1 before it became A1, and that was also A1 like right around the beginning of the pandemic.
I see,
okay,
I
no,
see,
I
yeah.
respect it. I mean, they're hustling. They're trying to make
But
things
like
work. Yeah.
the owner really likes games, so and
That's awesome,
really
yeah.
like is fully committed, like loves the project in general, Daybreak, so he's fully committed, and like there's like a little bit of this is just like jokes, but like it's like it's kind of like the owner's like protected baby of in the campus. Like,
Okay,
it's
okay,
like basically all the like everyone has this impression that the like work for hire projects,
Yeah.
they just help to feed
Oh, feed
Daybreak.
this project. Yeah. I
because,
mean,
because this is like our company, our project. The other ones are just like helping on like assets or like
Yeah, of
games
course. Yeah,
development for our company. But this is
Yeah.
our own original thing.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine the whole team kind of feels that way when they're working on this project, and so. But yeah, I mean, you were talking about like there's also like with this game, the distribution channels and everything. Are you guys planning on releasing this on multiple consoles and doing the whole Steam, PS5, or are you guys gonna be on a different platform? How do you guys? How is this game going to be rolled out? You think?
I think the initial plans are more around like certain limited platforms.
At least
I
have it
think-
on Steam.
Yeah, I think
I want to. I'm a PC person. So
yeah, no, same
Steam
here.
would be like a
it's
no-brainer.
definitely
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that's
that's really all I need. But yeah.
Stuff like Steam and Switch for me are like musts.
Yeah.
But
Switch is
of
a
course,
good idea.
for like initially the kind of like early access of stuff. I think they're talking with this company based in Japan, but it's mostly Western people.
Okay.
Called XR Arcadia.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what they have been doing, they have their own arcade platform, which is like old style arcade platform. So
Yeah.
it's not digital distribution. They have like their games on physical hardware,
Right.
and they have like
Like on the
their
boards?
board, which is like their own computer. So you basically plug the games, which are like USB, which are USB dongles with like encryption keys, and those run on their board, so you can swap them. Like you can have like 4 plugged at the same time, and you can so it's very similar to what like a Neo Geo MPS used to be,
Right.
Yeah.
in the 90s, right? And they did show the game in their platform for like announced it for the platform at Evo Japan last year. So it's something that's like been
Oh, they had a booth
Yeah.
with the revamped Breaker's Revenge.
yeah.
I saw Justin playing on it, and then
Yeah, and
he's
also-
playing an old game. But
also
I saw
playing-
Yeah.
the interface is like all
Yeah,
remastered.
they've been working on like bringing a lot of like new versions of old games like Breaker's Revenge,
Yeah.
Asuka 120%, Arcana Heart, Demon's Bride, that all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like games from the 90s and 2000s that were kind of lost.
Yeah.
and,
Those are
like,
treasures. Yeah.
overstocked. Yeah. Basically, bring updated versions. I think they usually have a condition to have like something exclusive on their version
Yeah.
because of all like the effort they put. So, for example, this Breakers Revenge new version is like it's like an update
Okay.
version. It's not exactly the same that was before. So
Okay, so they put a little twist on it.
They do
so-
have novelties on that, and that's
Yeah.
why like. I mean, there's people who complain about that because it means the things get like logged on their arcade platform.
Yeah, I guess it's not like quite a preservation thing. It's more like a kind of revitalizing.
Yeah, it's
these kinda old-
revitalizing the AP.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not the same games.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still like anything that helps the IPs, I think it's a good thing at this point.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
considering the circumstances.
you're bringing that spirit back, and I think one of the spirits of those kind of old games is kind of what you can see in the game that you're working on, right? There's you mentioned that one of the goals with the game was to kind of bring back an arcade vibe, and like I mentioned, like I for me, for some reason, I felt Crazy Taxi, right? But we had kind of this feeling of like Dreamcast era of games, which was Naomi, which means arcade,
Atomic Wave boards, Naomi boards.
yeah, so like there is kind of an arcade vibe to this game because there's kind of like a, I guess, like, I don't know how exactly you would define arcade, but arcade games generally are about games where you just get into it and have fun immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you put the coins in and then it's just fun. And then the coins run out because you died or whatever. And then you just want to keep on playing it. Right. So, I guess this is kind of one of the angles that you guys were approaching for this game. And the gameplay, it seems like it's, I don't want to use the term, accessible, but it is arcade style in that you can jump into it very quickly. It's light, medium, heavy, and then there's like a special button, right? And
But special as in for special actions, not for specials.
yeah, not
Right,
for
right,
special.
right.
So
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not-
yeah. So it's not like a 2XKO specials, where the button you press the button does a special move. There actually are motion inputs in this game, right? But the motion inputs are it's just like there's like three quarter circle forward,
yeah.
quarter circle back, and then down input,
yes.
right? So you still have the motion input aspect, which also, of course, affects the gameplay because it does have a slight balancing component because the down motion takes time compared to just pressing one button to do a DP, right?
Yeah,
so I'm sure you thought of this as the game designer, that the role of motion inputs. I know this has been a conversation recently, and maybe it's died down at this point.
But
But
the trend is looking like all the tag games that's coming, they trash the idea of motion inputs.
I mean, I wanted DPs originally, personally. Like
Yeah.
I think about, it's like, I don't know if you saw this recent announcement of a Japanese elder esports team.
I saw elderly people.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
90 something
Yeah,
year old granny
were they playing
Tekken.
like
they were playing Tekken.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're playing
Tekken,
Tekken.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like look at this this 90 something year old granny can play Tekken, but you you get anxious by the idea of doing quarter circle forward.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Tekken still has motion inputs. Like if you want to do Death Fist, you gotta do.
yeah.
Yeah,
quarter
it
circle
does
forward.
have some motion
Yeah.
inputs,
Yeah,
but
it's like
God Fist is DP motion technically. Yeah.
well, Godfist is I think Godfist is harder than DP motion because you have to have neutral.
Yeah.
Well, think about Giant Swing.
Yeah, even Giant Swing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
SNK motion,
SNK
right?
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you go.
SNK grab.
Tekken kind of still carries the soul of the 2D motions
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we reached this consensus by doing like down, and tiers. So basically, the whole idea is to have every character has like an offensive oriented special, quarter circle forward, a defensive oriented special, down, and an utility special, quarter circle back.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting concept in game design where you wanna have patterns for accessible learning in anything, right? So you want to, for example, like even if it's kind of cryptic or not obvious at the beginning, we were talking about overheads, right? Like in 2D games, overheads kind of have an animation of an attack going downwards from a standing position, right? So you
Except in
look at
Guilty
that.
Gear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not every game, but like it's kind of this is kind of how you can kind of find out. You can start connecting the dots, right? And so even if you didn't know that quarter circle back was generally a utility move in this game, I'm sure over time people will realize this, like, oh, my quarter circle back does a command dash, or my quarter circle back does teleport, and then they start learning these kinds of things. I'm guessing as a game designer, gameplay designer, you're constantly making efforts to kind of put these in place, like a system, so that people can understand faster or learn faster without like explicitly mentioning it, right? And I think that's the kind of the key thing, because they kind of learn it without knowing that they're learning it, right?
The thing is that also, besides the like what I do for at work, because of the lack of competitive opportunities, what I've been doing mostly back home is help other people get into fighting games.
Yeah.
Help them like get into fighting games, or help them get better into fighting games. So I consider myself at least pretty decent at like helping people take steps forward in fighting games. And teaching is not something everyone can do. Even if people can be really good at playing the game, that doesn't mean that they're good at like teaching the game.
Yeah, I definitely experienced this talking to lots of top players.
It's not just that like you can be good and not understand why you're good.
Yeah.
You can be good and understand that you're good, but not understand forget about what it means to be a beginner.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You can be good, understand why you're good, understand how it meant to be what it meant to be a beginner.
Yeah.
But not know how to transmit that knowledge. So those are all important steps that you need to have in order to teach successfully this kind of stuff. It's just like in sports, like most of the biggest coaches were never like high level players in their sports for the most part.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's not necessarily skills that correlate to each other.
Yeah, definitely. Teaching is a different skill completely. Also, something that I realize is, if you are a top player, I mean, that's a good point that you made about not understanding what it's like to be a beginner again. And for them, it's very natural. And I think the best analogy is kind of like, if you think about something that everyone's good at, but they don't know why they're good at it, or they don't know the intricacies of the thing that they're good at. It's language, right? Everyone's native language. If you study Spanish, then you'll understand things like the past perfect tense and like the subjunctive and all that kind of stuff. But if you grew up speaking it, then you'd have to learn that in school separately. But you're just belting out the right conjugations of the verbs and just you're just almost flawless, right? So it's very much, I think people can become like that. But what's interesting is with fighting games, everyone at one point did have a point where they didn't know how to do a quarter circle motion.
Of course, there was one point
but
where
I don't remember that. Like I don't remember ever struggling with that.
Same.
Even if I tried my hardest to think about that time, like I do remember I did struggle with the DP motion one time, and what I did was I just reframed it in my mind as you're walking forward and then quickly do a fireball.
Oh, okay.
And then I remember I had to make that kind of mental framing of it to get that to work better. And then it worked. And then, but then after a while, that just became second nature. And it just, it became ingrained in my DNA.
Yeah. You don't have to tell yourself every time, right? It just happens.
Yes.
So
yeah.
funny about the DP motion, I always abided by the sticker on the arcade. You know how it has the Z arrow?
Oh.
Yeah. I always called it the Z motion.
Man.
And I purposely wanted to perfect the Z motion.
Yeah.
So I never knew the SRK motion until later on.
Yeah.
I just always did the Z motion and it worked. I'm like, okay,
really?
I do the Z.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if you do the Z motion, okay, so sorry, we're going to go a little bit nerdy on this.
This is funny.
So when you do your DP on a
here
lever, I guess you do forward and then you must go, if it's a Z, you must
down
go
back.
to down back.
That's how I did it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I did the full swing of it.
I mean,
very fast.
You need to
Wow.
go down back. I mean, the Z, the turn of the Z is just right. Is just below down. It's not down back.
Yeah,
So-
but that's not how I understood it. as.
Yeah.
I look at the picture. It says Z and a P. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just
Yeah,
do the
this is
zigzag.
why the DP motion is dying, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
like it's just like
so many ways to articulate.
yeah.
it
I mean,
into-
like it's just I feel it's natural to do it, and but then you know what? To be honest, like when I got more into Tekken, thanks to Tekken 7. When I was learning like Godfist and stuff, that's different from a DP motion. That's very much different, and it's like you have to do neutral. So the way I did DP was I did hold forward or go forward, and then I would roll the lever to down, riding the edges of the gate, right? So I would never go to neutral.
Right.
So I had to relearn how to do that motion with the Godfist version because I had to go back to neutral. Whereas maybe if I did a Z motion, maybe it would have been a little more effective.
well, maybe.
I saw Kudans, the Deviljin Korean Deviljin player. I saw him playing ST at Evo, one of the Evos, and he was like having fun, just kind of messing around and
Okay.
having fun. And the way he did DP was definitely like it was like a Tekken
Oh, it's
DP.
like the perfect like
yeah. I mean, but he was nailing it. So I'm guessing
just
if you're
frame DPs.
yeah, he was just doing just frame. Yeah, actually, no, that's the thing. Like
electric DPs.
yeah, there's no reward in Street Fighter for doing a DP where you hit down forward and the punch button at the
Like
exact
the
same
perfect
time.
frame.
There is a reward.
Well, I mean, there's a reward. It's faster, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
that's it.
yeah,
But it doesn't
it's-
give you extra damage or anything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, but I mean, it's
In Super Turbo, the DP coming out, it's a reward in itself.
yeah.
That also means you'd be really good at the reversal DP too, because it's gonna be one frame perfect.
Yeah, the perfect. That's kind of the just frame. But then you can like also you can plank,
Yeah,
you
you
can
can piano
piano.
the buttons,
yeah, all the
the
players
double-
with
the
piano.
double
Then
top.
yeah,
For
those
me,
kind of
doing
things.
the electric motion on Tekken when I play Tekken Type 1, I didn't understand it as you had to go to neutral.
Yeah.
Because what happened to my arcade was our levers were very loose. So if I do the forward and then let go, it will spring back. So it will accidentally hit back motion, right? So the way I learned it is I had to do forward
Yeah.
and then perfectly place my palm where it will stop at neutral to prevent it going like the recoil.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I learned the electric. So forward, let go, but block your lever.
Yeah.
And then do your like the rest of the motion.
Huh.
That's how I learned it.
Okay.
I think I have a problem in my brain with like a just frame type movements.
Yeah.
Because I'm absolutely convinced
Yeah.
that not just with electrics, but with any type of just frame moves, I'm convinced I swear to like every deity on every pantheon possible that I'm pressing the direction at the same time I'm pressing the button.
Yeah.
But on reality, it's like a 3-frame difference. So it's like
something's going on.
Yeah.
there's some kind of disconnect between my like
Left
both
and
of
right hand?
between both my hands.
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm pretty sure like I'm doing the action on the same frame of both,
Yeah.
but there's like a
Yeah.
a delay somewhere in here.
Oh yeah. Though there
It's
is.
like-
It's actually really interesting.
But my perception, my physical perception,
Yeah.
is that I'm
same.
doing it at the same time.
Yeah, you're doing it at the same time. Yeah. So like it's interesting. Like if anyone who plays like musical instruments, like guitar or violin or whatever, they have to kind of sync their left hand with their right hand, right? When you're playing a note, you want to pluck the note when your left hand has fretted the note,
chords,
right? Yeah. And so like there's kind of like that left hand right hand coordination issue. But I also feel that leverless is making that less of a problem now because
I can do it.
because like if you think about like if you play with a lever and then buttons, you actually are having very different sensory experiences with your left and right hand. Like
It's doing the triangle and the square thing, the old challenge.
yeah,
Whether you're coordinated, your right finger has to do the squarewise and the left hand to do the triangle.
Yeah,
Without
yeah.
confusing yourself.
Yeah,
But you're
exactly.
doing that in real life if you're playing fighting games on an arcade stick.
yeah, but we all got used to that, right? yeah.
I know where you got that from, but it's
No,
like,
but that was like the challenge whether you have self-control with your hands doing different motions.
the one I can do is like turn like
Oh yeah, that and
then
also
that,
the one with pounding your chest.
Oh yeah, and
then rubbing your head, or
rubbing your
something.
head and patting your stomach.
and you
or
gotta
is it your-
interchange it.
Oh yeah, like
So
rubbing
like
your,
pounding your chest and rubbing your head. Now it's like change your hands, and then you're
Okay.
all doing the different things now.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can. All right, I don't know.
And you mentioned the
Yeah, this-
instrument stuff. Funnily enough, I believe like string instruments are what you explain it as. But I know drummers also have to learn how to be unco. Like drummers need to kind of know how to offbeat stuff.
Oh,
at
yeah,
the same
yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So they have a different kind of sensory stuff.
Yeah,
going on.
you know, like
Yeah.
in drumming, there's like flams and it's kind of almost like plinking. And
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like it's
they have to
interesting.
learn cara canceling.
Yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah.
In
So-
drumming.
yeah,
Breaking the dishes.
No, but there's definitely like I always like to talk about the relationship to music, musical
It's always
instruments in
relevant.
fighting games.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always some kind of relevancy there. But yeah, you're talking about we're kind of talking about the like in we're talking about
Like just
motion
frames
inputs
and just,
in the
motion
game
inputs.
that's kind of supposed to be kind of accessible arcade style game. And I guess I don't know, since this has been kind of a topic, I mean, kind of what are your thoughts? Obviously, you said that you kind of want to push for the DP motion, but settled on the down down. Do you feel that? I think one of the opinions, I think Sejam made this point. We talked about this in a podcast not too long ago as well. That like in Marvel type games or tag fighters in general, the motion input doesn't have as much of an importance as like in a Street Fighter style game where a DP, if you can pull off a DP in time, that will make or break the tide of a match, right? So I don't know. Do you as somebody who plays Marvel, do you feel that where do you feel like the motion inputs kind of stand in that?
Bro, if I had like shortcut button, like shortcut specials in Marvel,
Yeah.
I would be playing Morrigan like all day. There's like no
Yeah.
reason to not play Morrigan.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like instead of having to do
That's right, yeah.
back, forward, back, forward, back,
That's
forward,
right,
back.
I'm
yeah.
pretty
It's like
proud in my Morrigan
button,
skills.
button.
Yeah, yeah,
And anyone could do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like,
So you need to there's kind of an execution. I don't want to say barrier, but like an executional challenge to getting certain things to come out, certain attacks, and that was kind of the spirit of motion inputs in general, right? Because like the reason why the move is special is because you have to do a special motion to do it, right? So like if you think about like if you don't have a motion input. Let's say your special move becomes, hold a direction and press a button. Well, that's like an overhead.
if
You
you
hold
did,
forward,
if
and
you didn't have to
button.
put effort into it, what's so special about it?
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
why.
it's the special thing now without the motion input is that, well, there's a special button, right? But then also is that the move is more powerful, right? And so games like we talked about Grand Blue.
Not anymore.
Oh, Grimble kind of now reverted.
Oh yeah,
actually,
that's
it's
right.
the
Yeah,
same. But it
the
used to be-
new one.
used-
Yeah, it's they changed it. So it's kind of like and we've seen this. Like obviously, if you have an instant DP that breaks the balance, you got to reduce the damage.
Street Fighter
Modern
still does
controls
it,
in
so.
Street Fighter. So I guess like to further this conversation with somebody who understands Marvel at a very high level. Yeah. Well, okay, fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe with those with the quarter circle motions, you need kind of that thing to kind of put a challenge on that technique to get that move out. But what about like DP motions and stuff like that? Like, how do you feel that the DP motion in Marvel style games versus like maybe like a Street Fighter game?
I mean, even in tag games, it will change a lot. Like even among tag games, it changes a lot depending on the game.
Yeah.
Because being able to have like one button DP on Marvel 3 has completely different implications to
Yeah.
having a one button DP in Marvel Infinite.
Yeah.
Even in those two games that like seem somewhat similar, it has very different implications because in Marvel 3 you do a DP and you don't really like you can maybe DP super and that's it.
Yeah.
On Marvel Infinite, you can DP tag,
DP tag and make it
get a
safe.
full combo out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of that DP. So
Yeah.
So it's a completely different like environment as well. So it's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, it definitely changes the game a lot, and so this is what's kind of interesting about the game that that A1 is making with you is that it is maintaining that the motion inputs, but it is also there's no pretzel motions or anything like that.
Yeah.
Are there any other aspects of the game that you guys intentionally made to give it that more arcade feel, decision making wise in the gameplay?
The thing is that there's a few mechanics in the game. The game is meant to be kind of like an introduction to fighting games to people, but not like in an extremely basic way. More like to like fighting game mechanics than to fighting games per se. So we have many common mechanics, like alpha counter or like B reversal or drive reversal, whatever you want to call it. And there's a burst mechanic.
It's a combo breaker,
Yeah, basically.
All buttons, yeah.
Yeah. It's but like the conditions are specific. You need to be aware of that. There's like special cancel mechanics. Like if you're canceled from a chained normal, it spends meter. But if you use a loose normal, then it doesn't use the special meter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's why there's in the chains. There's also some links within those chains that you can do. Like there are some characters that have like medium to medium.
Yeah.
And those are links. Those are not like magic chains.
Right.
And if you do like medium special, since you linked, it doesn't count as a special cancel. So it doesn't use your like the resource we have for universal mechanics.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So that's also like an incentive to players that want to get in deeper to like practice slightly more difficult stuff.
Rewarding
because
if you practice.
Yeah. So I think a big part of like designing a good game, or you see this in the classic games. I'm sure the Super Mario Brothers level 1 has been studied by game designers for a very long time now. But you see this with like for example, like if you take a game like Contra. Like, in Contra, they give you the invincibility at the beginning of the game. Like, there'll be like some invincible thing that you, and I think it was like the Super Nintendo one. And then, but then like, it's like you get it because you're invincible and kind of gives you a chance to get a feel for the controls and how to play without worrying about getting killed while you're still in the action. That must have been intentional, right? And so a lot of the, game design, it also has to take account for people who are getting into the game and how they can kind of have a step up of learning, by themselves as they're playing it. Right now, that threshold might be different based on generations and the person's personal tolerance, right? But I guess do you have any philosophies or ideas on where you kind of have to draw the line? Is like, are we dumbing it down at this point, or are we actually making good game design by helping? Like, where's that line, or do you have any like thoughts or philosophies on that?
I mean, in general, basically, like I mentioned to you, this game is not the game I will make.
Okay.
This is the game I was tasked to make, and doing the best to make capabilities.
Yes.
So the whole idea of this is making like a game that's more introductory without being like all like completely distilled.
Yeah.
Like some more examples.
Yeah, like arcade style. You put the coins in and you get right into it.
Yeah. So for the most part, most of the people that I work with are not into fighting games. So they're kind of the perfect focus group. And also we have like there's like one like kind of like beginner fighting game players and a couple of like more intermediate players. So So it's like people, and it's people like I can like back and forth some ideas with.
Yeah.
So in that regard, there's like there's not really that much of a threshold. Like in terms of design, I have kind of for the most part free reign in terms of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So I try to, like I said, I try to do it like as like it's not. I don't try to make things accessible. I try to make things approachable.
Okay.
I like the idea.
All right. That's so kind of, I guess this is, I mean, we can't avoid talking about Twitter.